Natasha, and thank you so much for joining me today. Well, today I really want to create a pretty simple card, but it has a pretty cool impact, I think. It is bright, even though we are going to be doing it on some Kraft cardstock here. Now, this is just me quickly making up a card base before I get to. I use the Fawn Kraft cardstock. I find that is a nice heavyweight cardstock that's going to hold up to everything we want to do to it. And I just use my trimmer. I have a scoring blade and a cutting blade on my trimmer, which I absolutely love. I really love having the two on there, and I would say very rarely, if ever, have I mixed them up. Maybe if I was super tired at crafting, I might have mixed them up once, but pretty good. Now, I love this little stamp set. This is called Santa Claus Comes Tonight by Picket Studios, and I try to, with Christmas, choose one or two stamp sets that are sort of going to see me through the year, because I don't make a whole lot of Christmas cards. It can be expensive to purchase just a stamp set for one occasion, but I do make probably, I try and make sort of 10 to 20 Christmas cards to give out. So I like to find different ways I can use the same stamp set. I definitely don't love batch making 20 of the same cards in general. I like to do different things all over the place. So this is just one of my little Santas today. Now, I have definitely got other videos already on my channel that are already live using this gorgeous Santa, but if you have a different Santa, then I'm sure that you could use this idea, this technique as well. And I want to keep it really, really simple today. So I'm going to be using colouring pencils. No Gamsol or no nothing special, just colouring pencils. Now, so far we have stamped this directly onto my card base. I am using my heat gun to melt the clear embossing powder layer that I have put over top here. Now, these are actually my daughter's colouring pencils, if I'm honest. I don't own a set of colouring pencils, and hers seem pretty good, so I will use hers. That she got them as a Christmas gift from an auntie of mine a couple of years ago, and she loves them, and she definitely lets me borrow them, so I'm pretty happy with that. I picked out a couple of different colour reds, and it was just whatever was in the pack, so I kind of go between using the two of those. There is no fancy colouring and no fancy shading here at all. I'm definitely not great with all those sort of coloured pencils things, but I think this turns out just fine. Now, when I was stamping, I think you may have caught me doing the mask as well. So I put a piece of 4-inch mint tape straight over top of my image when I was already stamping, so I already used the residual ink to stamp down on there quickly and create a mask for the Santa on some 4-inch mint tape. Now, I like to reuse my masks over and over again, so I want to keep it as reusable as I can. I would say that the Gina K Masking Magic is going to hold up much longer than the mint tape, just because of what they're made of, but I think for what I want out of it, I would say I would probably get 3 to 4 uses out of the mint tape, depending on what I put over top of it, of course, and how much ink it was saturated with and all those things. Now, I have just done a little bit of colouring on his face, some little rosy cheeks and a little bit of yellow or oranges and yellow for the gorgeous bell he's holding. Then I take a black pencil and just do some speckled dots onto the furry part. So like his gloves to me would be silky, satiny sort of, so I wouldn't do the dots on there, but the furry parts of the white, I do little dots, and that seems to sort of help convey that they are that fluffy nature rather than smooth. Now, here is my mint tape. Now, this is a little bit tricky to cut out as is. So here is a little hack. Pop it on a piece of copy paper, and it makes it much easier to cut out. Now, this can kind of be like your release paper. Of course, if you put anything really super sticky on here, then it's not going to work. But these low tack tapes are going to come on and off of this paper just perfectly fine. Now, I shared in another video, or it will be coming up for you guys, where you can also, if you need strips of mint tape, then do the same thing. Put it down on a piece of copy paper, and you can just cut it with your trimmer much more easily into strips, nice even strips. Now, I'm going to take one of the little stamps from the stamp set here, It has part of the jingle typed out from, I think, Jingle Bells or Santa Claus Comes Tonight, one of the little Christmas jingles, and I quite like that in the gorgeous scripty writing. So there I'm going to take off my mask from the copy paper, and it just comes off really easily. I'm going to take some Hero Arts Unicorn White Pigment ink and just quickly stamp this around the outside. Now I'm just going to fill this in. I'm not making sure that it's perfect or anything like that. I'm just filling in all the spaces that are Kraft left around the outside. And that's one of the reasons I liked this stamp set. Well, two mainly. One, he was nice and big and that he would be able to fill the majority of the page. And two is that I knew I would be able to fussy cut him easily. He has nice straight edges and that just makes it much, much easier. Not too much fine detail or anything like that. So that's definitely another reason that I went with this Santa stamp set. Now I am going to also add a little bit of, I'm going to call it snow. That's a loose term, I guess, but snow it is. And I am just going to use some of this stencil butter. This is like pearl Stardust butter. Now this is kind of dries with a shimmer, a mica, and of course I'm using it in such little pieces over these little pieces of snow or whatever you would like to call them, and so it does shimmer a lot, but I don't think it's overpowering because it's just in the background. And of course we are masking off our Santa, so we know that it's not going to catch any of his gorgeous red outfit or anything like that, so it's just around the outside. So I've just gone over with a relatively light layer because remember this is all going directly onto my card base, so I don't want to load it up with a whole lot of wet media because I'm not sure how the page would hold up to that, but this amount is just nice. So with the stamping in the background, it's just a really easy background to create. One mask has done a couple of jobs for us. I would advise that you take the mask off whilst the stencil paste is still wet because you definitely don't want it to kind of set on there or so that you end up ripping anything. So you want to take it off while it's still wet, but let the stencil paste dry on top of the mask, and then you can pop the mask back onto your little piece of release paper or your copy paper, and we can use it next time. I'm going to wait for the stencil paste to dry before I do that, otherwise I will just make a mess. Now I will put a little sentiment on the inside of that. This stamp set is also something else that comes with it. So many gorgeous sentiments. And I'm going to pop these on the inside of this little Santa card here. And that's perfectly okay with me. Now one thing I thought I would do to jazz up his little fluffy bits on his outfit is I thought I'm going to add a little bit of glossy accents. And then I'm going to sprinkle over a little bit of diamond glitter just to sort of add a little bit of dimension. Now, glossy accents will go on cloudy and it dries nice and clear and hard and solid, really like glass, very, very clear. But I'm trying to do cards that are pretty flat because some of these are going to need to go through the mail to friends and family far and wide. And so I don't want to add a whole lot of dimension. So that's why I'm trying to keep it pretty flat, but I think this glossy accents is going to work really, really nicely with what I want. So keeping it really simple today with a gorgeous pencil, just colouring pencil, my kids' colouring pencils, coloured in Santa image. So it doesn't have to be complicated, and I think he looks fairly cute. Let me know in the comment section down below your go-to technique for sort of quick colouring or quick cards, and I would love to have a read through. If you've got any questions for me, drop them down there too. Other than that, I will see you in the next video. Thanks, bye!